Caitlin Clark is being targeted.
Marina Mabrey, she was assaulted. Caitlin Clark.
JC Sheldon is guarding Caitlin, swipes her in the face, swipes her in the eyeball. Marina Mabrey, bat out of hell, chucks Caitlin Clark to the ground. That was a wild one. That was so unexpected.
Just ridiculous, bro.
That's Bush League bullshit.
Caitlin Clark gets poked in the eye and shoved to the ground.
Marina Mabrey chucks Caitlin Clark to the ground.
And the refs, they barely blinked.
And how egregious the referees were and how they were not protecting players. Referees were not calling it. The refs in general were horrid.
The referees need to do their job.
The fans are outraged, the league is on fire, and it's time we talk about what's really happening.
We see Caitlin Clark on the receiving end of something, and it's not called correctly.
Before we break this down, do you think Caitlin Clark is being targeted? Drop a comment below saying, protect Caitlin if you stand with her. Let's flood the feed with support because enough is enough.
All right, enough is enough. You know, at some point, the line gets crossed too often where something needs to be done and things need to be corrected.
Now let's get into the full story. What went down, how fans reacted, and why this might be a turning point for the WNBA.
All eyes are on Caitlin Clark. All eyes on the needle mover, CC. All eyes on Caitlin Clark, and y'all know it. Should have advertised more for these games. All eyes on Caitlin Clark. All eyes on Caitlin Clark. All eyes on Caitlin Clark.
The Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun game started off slow, but what happened next shocked the entire league.
Marina Mabrey just coming in and thrashing into Caitlin Clark, of course, slamming her to the ground.
Midway through the game, JC Sheldon was guarding Caitlin Clark closely, maybe too closely. Suddenly, Sheldon swipes at the ball, but instead catches Caitlin right in the eye.
JC Sheldon is guarding Caitlin Clark. She swipes her in the eyeball. Caitlin Clark nudges her off because JC stays in her face. And then Tina Charles runs over and is kind of wagging her finger in Caitlin Clark's face. And then Marina Mabrey comes out of nowhere and chucks her to the floor.
You can literally see Caitlin recoiling in pain, covering her eye. What happens next? Caitlin, clearly frustrated, gives Sheldon a light nudge to back her off. And just then, Marina Mabrey charges in out of nowhere and straight up shoves Caitlin to the ground. Yes, the WNBA's biggest star just got poked in the eye and body slammed, all in one sequence.
JC Sheldon swipes her in the eyeball.
Even Tina Charles ran over, wagging her finger in Caitlin's face. It was chaos, and it didn't stop there. The referees paused the game to review the play. They spent over 15 minutes watching the replay.
The referees are going to review the play. They looked at it for 15 minutes.
Frame by frame. Fans, players, even the announcers were convinced Marina Mabrey would be ejected.
Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected because that was unwarranted. She literally came out of nowhere and chucked Caitlin Clark.
JC Sheldon would get a flagrant.
There should be a flagrant one, of course, on JC Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the eyeball, whether it is intentional or not.
And Caitlin would be defended as the victim in this situation. But no, the verdict? Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, and Tina Charles all received technical fouls. And JC Sheldon was given a flagrant one. That's it. No ejections.
Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And JC Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
Let that sink in. The player who got poked in the eye and shoved to the floor received the same punishment as the one who blindsided her.
Now we have seen a non-basketball play getting shoved to the ground, and it's just a technical foul.
How the hell do you get poked in the eye and pushed to the ground and you get a technical?
Even the male announcer on the broadcast said it best. What do you even need to do to get ejected in the WNBA?
What do you actually need to do to get ejected? Because Marina just came out of nowhere and chucked her to the ground and was not ejected for that. So what do you actually need to do to be ejected from the game in a WNBA game?
The incident went viral within minutes. And what made it even more upsetting is that this wasn't the first time something like this happened to Caitlin Clark, and it certainly won't be the last unless something changes.
The WNBA continues to fail to meet the moment. Terrible decision to allow Marina Mabrey to stay in the game. People are watching as never before, and this is what they see.
The moment Caitlin Clark was poked in the eye and slammed to the floor, the entire basketball world erupted, and not just WNBA fans. This moment crossed into mainstream sports, and even NBA insiders, sports radio hosts, and national journalists were all saying the same thing. This is an embarrassment. Social media exploded. Clips of the shove, the eye poke, and the referee's inaction were instantly everywhere.
Even if you look at this play where JC Sheldon eventually swipes Caitlin in the eyeball, she had contact with her like 4 to 5 times. That should have been called a foul before the eye swipe even happened. Referees, what are you doing? Open your eyes.
ESPN alerts, Bleacher Report tweets, even NBA meme pages picked it up. Within an hour, protect Caitlin Clark.
And they especially weren't protecting the #1 player in this league, the biggest draw in this league, which is Caitlin Clark, and they continue to not do that.
And Marina Mabrey were trending on Twitter X. Fans were furious.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
How does the face of the league, the player responsible for record-breaking viewership, get attacked again and still receive the same punishment as her aggressors? One fan said, "She got clawed in the eye, shoved down, and the refs gave her a tech? What the hell is this?" Another compared it to the NBA.
That the referees didn't automatically throw her ass right out of that arena is exactly why all eyes are on the WNBA.
Imagine someone did that to Steph Curry or LeBron. The league would never allow it. Even seasoned media figures spoke out. Christine Brennan, one of the most respected women in sports journalism, said the WNBA continues to fail to meet the moment and asked, "What are we showing to millions of new viewers when this is what Caitlin Clark has to deal with?" And she's not alone. Caitlin Clark fans, many of whom are new to the WNBA, are now questioning if the league is even serious about protecting its players.
Shout out to the Indiana Fever fans because you guys came in so strong and were doing exactly what fans need to do.
Or just using Caitlin for ratings. Let's talk about Sophie Cunningham, too. After seeing Caitlin get targeted all game, Sophie took matters into her own hands. Late in the fourth quarter, she delivered a hard, intentional foul on JC Sheldon.
Sophie commits a hard foul on JC Sheldon. Again, as JC Sheldon is going up for a layup, Sophie bear hugs her and takes her to the ground,
sparking a full team scuffle. And guess what? The crowd loved it.
Payback for what was happening the entire game.
Chants of "Sophie, Sophie" filled the arena.
Sophie, Sophie.
Social media called her an enforcer. Some fans said she did what the refs refused to.
Like, if the refs aren't going to handle it, I will handle it.
If the league won't protect Caitlin, then Sophie will. Multiple creators, and including YouTubers and podcasters, praised her actions. As one put it, that wasn't dirty.
This was not a dirty play. It wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul, and it was meant to send a message.
That was a message. That was standing on business. Caitlin Clark has become more than just a basketball player.
Sophie Cunningham posted this on her Instagram.
She's now a flashpoint for conversations about fairness, protection, and responsibility. And more fans, creators, and analysts are no longer staying quiet. Because when this is how the league treats its biggest star,
Sophie Cunningham actually
what does that
an
say
enforcer.
about the WNBA's
Caitlin Clark
leadership?
as the enforcer.
This isn't just about one game. This isn't just about one eye poke, one shove, or one technical foul. What happened to Caitlin Clark is the latest chapter in an ongoing story, a story of a superstar being physically targeted.
We saw the Caitlin Clark effect last season. We saw the influx of millions of new fans, billions of dollars in revenue that came to the WNBA, and that was supposed to come to the WNBA this season.
You can't win a game without Caitlin Clark. She's already starting on fire, man. She's ready to go. Look, jersey lifted up. Oh, throwing the jersey. Swing it around your head like a helicopter, then leaves the building. All right.
Disrespected by opponents, mishandled by referees, and ignored by her own league's leadership. Let's start with the referees because their failure is central. From the moment J.C. Sheldon poked Caitlin in the eye,
Caitlin Clark and J.C. Sheldon, of all people, I feel like this is the rivalry. These are two players who do not seem to like one another at all. And JC's like grabbing the skin of Caitlin Clark's arm. You are seeing so much.
Clear, visible contact to the face. The officials were slow to act. Then when Mabrey came flying in and blindsided Clark to the floor, they spent 15 plus minutes reviewing the play. And for what? A flagrant one for JC. Technicals for Tina Charles, Mabrey, and shockingly, Caitlin Clark herself.
Tina Charles runs over and was blocking her, and then Marina Mabrey, when she comes out of nowhere, Tina Charles immediately puts her hands up and backs away because she didn't want that to be like, I didn't do that, essentially, was what she was saying. Like, I didn't do that.
No one ejected, not the instigator, not the enforcer, and not the teammate who delivered the most dangerous blow. How does that happen? Let's be honest, this isn't about missing a call, it's about a pattern. Across multiple games this season, DJ Carrington yanked players' hair. Common foul. Angel Reese got her hair pulled. Common foul. Caitlin has been hip-checked, slapped, pushed, and rarely protected.
All eyes are on Caitlin Clark. All eyes on the needle mover, CC. All eyes on Caitlin Clark, and y'all know it. Should have advertised more for these games. All eyes on Caitlin Clark. All eyes on Caitlin Clark. All eyes on Caitlin Clark.
We've seen Kennedy Carter hip checker, Angel Reese body up into her space, and now J.C. Sheldon clawing her eye, followed by Marina Mabrey body slamming her. And still, the refs often do nothing.
Caitlin Clark is being targeted.
Marina Mabrey, she was assaulted. Caitlin Clark.
J.C. Sheldon is guarding Caitlin, swipes her in the face, swipes her in the eyeball. Marina Mabrey, bat out of hell, chucks Caitlin Clark to the ground. That was a wild one. That was so unexpected.
Just ridiculous, bro.
That's Bush League bullshit.
Or worse, penalize Caitlin for reacting like any human would. This double standard is becoming impossible to ignore. Even Coach Stephanie White, who usually stays composed, spoke out directly after the game. She said, "The referees don't have control. It's been happening all season long."
There wasn't an explanation for the tech that she got. You know, I think it was pretty obvious that stuff was brewing, right? When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game, it's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical, and you allow these things to happen, they're gonna compete. And they're gonna have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right? Out of fierce competition. So I started talking to the officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better.
She admitted she warned the officials in the first quarter that things were getting chippy, and still they let it escalate. She said, "We've got competitive women who are the best at what they do. If you don't control the game, things will explode." That's what happened. And the league, silent. Where is Commissioner Kathy Engelbert?
Kathy is a disgrace. If she doesn't address the WNBA referee problem that happened tonight, it's because they failed to protect players and take control of the game. There needs to be a change.
Where is the accountability? Over and over, the WNBA markets Caitlin Clark's name in face to drive record viewership, sell out arenas, and ink new broadcast deals. But when it comes to protecting her on the court, they vanish. That's the real tragedy. Imagine if the NBA allowed this to happen to Steph Curry or LeBron James. Do you think LeBron would be body checked, poked in the eye, then tackled, and given a technical for reacting?
Think if this was LeBron in the NBA. Think if this was Steph Curry in the NBA. Do you really think that the NBA would be allowing certain players in the NBA to go after LeBron the way that Caitlin was chucked to the ground? Do you think if another player came up, blindsided LeBron, chucked him to the ground after he had just been poked in the eye, that the NBA would be like, oh yeah, technicals, nobody's ejected?
Of course not, because leagues protect their stars. Stars like Wayne Gretzky in the NHL, who never got touched, because his teammates and league knew his value. Because as one NHL enforcer once said, he made us all millionaires. Caitlin Clark is that player. She is the reason millions are tuning in. She is the reason the WNBA has sold out arenas in Indiana.
We saw the Caitlin Clark effect last season. We saw the influx of millions of new fans, billions of dollars in revenue that came to the WNBA, and that was supposed to come to the WNBA this season.
You can't win a game without Caitlin Clark.
She's already starting on fire, man. She's ready to go. Look, jersey lifted up. Oh, throwing the jersey. Swing it around your head like a helicopter, then leaves the building. All right.
New York, Los Angeles. She is the reason networks are rushing to sign new deals. She's the one making the league money. And yet, she's being treated like a rookie nobody. This isn't just dangerous, it's bad business. And if the WNBA doesn't step up now, they are risking everything. Their credibility, their growth, and possibly Caitlin Clark's health.
We saw the Caitlin Clark effect last season. We saw the influx of millions of new fans, billions of dollars in revenue that came to the WNBA, and that was supposed to come to the WNBA this season.
You can't win a game without Caitlin Clark.
She's already starting on fire, man. She's ready to go. Look, jersey lifted up. Oh, throwing the jersey. Swing it around your head like a helicopter, then leaves the building. All right.
As some fans pointed out, at this pace, someone like DJ Carrington or JC Sheldon could seriously injure her one day. And then what? Will the league regret it when it's too late? Will they only act after Caitlin Clark ends up on the injury report instead of the highlight reel? This is bigger than one play, bigger than one fight. It's about how we treat stars, how we protect athletes, how we keep the game respected. And if the WNBA wants to grow, to lead, to build on this golden moment they've been handed, then it starts with protecting Caitlin Clark. No more technicals for defending yourself. No more common fouls for dangerous plays. No more silence from the league when the face of the game gets slammed to the floor. The WNBA doesn't just have a Caitlin Clark problem. They have a refereeing crisis.
I mean, it's not actually crazy. It's not surprising, unfortunately, because the referees have been horrible this entire time.
A respect crisis and a leadership crisis. And if they don't fix it now, fans may decide the league isn't worth watching, no matter who's on the court.
You like to pump Caitlin for views, then let players tag team assault her. WNBA leadership needs to be investigated and replaced at NBA. I've noticed a lot more people are starting to tag the NBA. And when you make one of these posts, guys, you need to at the NBA in this stuff too.
This isn't just about Caitlin Clark anymore. It's about what kind of league the WNBA wants to be. One where stars are protected or one where they're punished for being targeted. The fans are speaking up. The media is calling it out.
Caitlin Clark always show love to her fans.
So we're going on vacation to Las Vegas, and we are going to go see Caitlin Clark at the Indiana Fever against the Aces.
No way! We already have tickets. Really? Really?
Thank you.
Row A, no one in front of us, but we're the very top level. That's all we can do.
Correlation stated, Caitlin Clark saw the video. I hope the little girl has the best time at the game. So I'm guessing the mom wrote a comment under Caitlin Clark post or whatnot. She stated, "My daughter is so excited to see you play in Vegas, praying a Hail Mary for your speedy recovery and hoping you'll be able to play by then. Hashtag Caitlin Clark, hashtag Indiana Fever." Caitlin Clark immediately, 6 minutes later, stated, "Check your DM." Caitlin goes out her way for the people that support her.
Now it's time for the league to listen. And if they don't, we will keep the pressure on. So tell us in the comments, was this a personal attack on Caitlin? Should Marina Mabrey have been ejected? Do you believe the WNBA is protecting its stars or exploiting them? Drop your thoughts below. Comment, protect Caitlin if you stand with her.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. So happy I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
Hit that subscribe button for real coverage, not the sugar-coated corporate takes. Tap the bell so you never miss a video, because here on this channel, we're standing with Caitlin Clark every single time.